This picture is during collision. During collision. I will never talk about this much during collision because we have very minimum information about this topic. During collision क्या होता है? We don't know much. And after collision, what will happen?
Sir, video is stuck.
Okay. But now try to understand there are two types of collision. One is head-on collision and the second is 2D collision in 2D, oblique collision. So what will happen in oblique collision? After collision, imagine two bodies are moving like this. And after collision, if they keep on moving in the straight line, then it is known as head-on collision. But if they start moving in the different line, it is known as oblique collision. Understood? अगर टकरा के ऐसे जा रहे हैं, so this is known as oblique collision, okay? And after collision, if they are moving in the straight line, this is known as head-on collision.
Head-on collision.
So this is the example of what?
Head-on collision.
Head-on collision.
Head-on collision. And no doubt U1 should be greater than U2, otherwise they will not collide even. Am I right? So this picture represents before collision and this is the picture of after collision. Okay? Now listen carefully, bacho. During collision, there will be some deformation in the body. भैया तुम रबर बॉल से खेलते हो, तो जब रबर बॉल आप फेंकते हो और जब रबर बॉल बॉल से टकराएगी थोड़ी सी कंप्रेस हो जाएगी कि नहीं?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
वो कंप्रेशन कहलाता है deformation. During collision there will be some deformation. Remember this. Okay, I'll tell you a lot about this, but later. Okay, so what happened in during the deformation, Arpit, some energy will convert, will increase their kinetic energy. So during collision, we should not say anything. समझ गए? During collision, we should not comment anything. We should keep quiet. During collision, we cannot say anything. But before collision and after collision, what we can say? Momentum of the system will remain conserved. What it mean momentum? What do you mean by conservation of linear momentum? What is the initial momentum of the system? M1 U1 plus M2 U2. I took both positive because both are going right hand side. And what is final momentum, bacho? They are also moving right hand side. So final momentum M1 V1 plus M2 V2. So can I write initial momentum must be equal to final momentum? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can I write initial momentum to final? Okay. So M1 U1 plus M2 U2 must be equal to M1 V1 plus M2 V2. This equation is true for all type of collision. Now there are three types of collision. But this much is true. Whatever written on the board is true in any type of collision. It is true always. Okay, copy. So in collision, linear momentum system is always conserved. Now I'll answer you this question also. Why linear momentum is conserved? Okay, Pooja ma'am. स्क्रीन को पिन कर दीजिए. कोई और बच्चा बोले तब भी मेरी स्क्रीन ही दिखनी चाहिए. इधर पर जैसा भी है देख लो. समझ गया ना व्हाट आई वांट टू से? Copied this much?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the meaning of word collision? What is the meaning of word collision? When two objects interact with each other for a very short interval of time is known as collision. When two objects interact each other for very small interval of time is known as collision. Okay? Shall I erase this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is known as head-on collision. This is head-on collision. And what you can keep in mind, in every type of collision, linear momentum of the system is always conserved. But Sinchana, I have one information for you. Look at only M1. Look at only M1, Arpit. M1 का momentum कितना था? What is momentum of M1 before collision? M1 U1. And what is momentum of M1 after collision? M1 V1. So momentum of M2 is changed. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Momentum of
Yes,
M1 is
sir.
changed. If you talk about only M1, momentum changed. If you talk about only M2, momentum is changed. But
Changed.
overall system, but when you talk about momentum of system, it remains conserved. Overall momentum same. लेकिन हुआ क्या? This was moving fast. This was moving fast. Now it is moving slow. It means M1 will transfer some momentum to M2. Yes or no? M1 will transfer some momentum to M2. Agree or
Yes,
not?
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now write note, momentum of individual body is not conserved, but momentum of the system is conserved. M1 will transfer some momentum to M2. Right? Momentum of individual body not conserved. In above example, M1 will transfer some momentum to M2. Understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Copy. This is collision basics. Very important topic, collision. ऐसा ठीक लग रहा है देवराज? चल जाएगा काम? Is this okay, Chinmay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Slowly my speed will increase. I will not write in this space because of this signing. Shall I erase everything?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Arpit, what is collision?
Sir,
बस ऐसे समय पे तुम्हारा इंटरनेट अटकेगा. देवराज, you explain.
Interaction between two bodies.
when two
Body interacts very short interval of
time.
time. Okay. Now we will talk about type of collisions. Okay. Types of head-on collisions. Alright. Collision की spelling तो सही लिख रहा हूँ ना मैं?
Yes, sir.
याद की थी मैंने. The first type of head-on collision is elastic collision. Now, elastic collision says, yes, Chinmay, come on. Can you tell me, Chinchana, Slayer? Elastic collision. Any comment? no loss of energy in any form means kinetic energy of system remains same before and
After.
collision. Okay, and there is one more thing. One more thing is conserved by default in all type of collision. What is that?
linear momentum.
Correct. Linear momentum की तो कसम खा लो, conserved है कैसा भी collision हो. Linear momentum of single body or of system?
System.
System.
Of system is conserved. So first is elastic collision. Now there is one more information in elastic collision, बच्चों. The coefficient of restitution I will explain you later. There is a term coefficient of restitution. We use this term to understand how much loss is there in energy due to collision. Because there is another type of collision, inelastic collision. In inelastic collision, बच्चों थोड़ा सा energy में loss होता है. Because when you drop a rubber ball, it won't come at the same height again. If you drop a rubber ball from this height, it will come back to this height only. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So why it is not coming at this height? Because of some loss of energy during collision, right? So there is another type of collision in which there will be some loss in energy, and that collision is known as inelastic. Speak.
Inelastic.
In inelastic collision, there is some loss
Loss of energy.
during collision. So how much loss is there? How much loss is there? We can understand with the help of coefficient of restitution. Okay, speak once. Coefficient of restitution. Speak. Coefficient of restitution. क्या काम आता है ये? कितना लॉस हुआ ये पता करना है और भी चीजों के काम आता है. ठीक है, चलो लिखते हैं. Coefficient of restitution E is 1. Value of coefficient of restitution is 1. Means E is equal to 1. Now this question will come in your mind. What is coefficient of restitution? I'll explain it later. Okay. Now ready for the second type of collision? Ready for the second type of collision?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Second is inelastic collision. Speak. Inelastic
Collision.
I believe you can see up to the corner.
Yes, sir.
I believe you can see everything on the board, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, in elastic collision, there is some loss of energy. There is some loss in kinetic energy of system, but linear momentum of
Will remain
system
conserved.
remains conserved. Okay. And the coefficient of restitution is between 0 to 1. E is between 0 to 1. Okay. Loss in kinetic energy in terms of heat. There will be loss in kinetic energy in terms of heat. Okay. And sound. Heat and sound. तो जब प्लास्टिक बॉल जमीन से टकराती है तो आवाज आती है कि नहीं आती?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
इसीलिए वो सेम हाइट तक नहीं आ पाती, right? So in case of inelastic collision, there will be loss in energy, and the loss in energy is in the form of heat and sound. Okay. Now, right, next, Collision number 3. Read it. What is this? Completely inelastic collision. The third type of collision is completely
Inelastic.
Inelastic collision.
collision. भैया इसमें कैसा होता है? See, the completely inelastic
Particles
collision, the
after
law.
collision move together.
Correct. It is like M1 is moving with speed U1, M2 is moving with speed U2, and after collision they are moving together. They will stick together, they will become single body and they'll move together. So when after collision both the bodies move together, it is known as completely
Complete inelastic
collision. मान लो ये दोनों गीली मिट्टी की बनी है, mud. Both the balls are made of clay or mud. So after collision, they'll start moving together. This is known as completely inelastic collision. And in completely inelastic collision, the loss of kinetic energy is maximum. Speak with me. Loss in kinetic energy of system is maximum. But one thing is same. What is that? Linear momentum of system is conserved. One more point. What is value of E? Coefficient of restitution is 0. What is E? Read it. What is E? What is E? Coefficient of restitution. Copy. These are the types of head-on collisions. Copied? I can read your messages. Chat faculty में message भेज सकते हैं आप. Saying hi to everyone. How are you all? Fine? Done? Very good, Arpit. Shall I erase Devraj?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Shall I erase everything? Shall I erase everything?
Yes, sir.
अभी के अभी रट लो अर्पित सब कुछ. आदेश हर्ष अभी के अभी रट लेंगे सब. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Arpit, E depends on the material. Whether you made balls of steel or plastic or rubber, or what is the material of ball made? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Bachcho, we will avoid talking about during collision, okay? We will always about before collision and after collision. आप कब बातचीत नहीं करना पसंद करोगे? अगर कोई आपका दोस्त आपसे बोले कि कोलिजन के दौरान क्या क्या हो रहा है, will you talk?
No, sir. No, sir.
You will always talk before collision and after collision.
After collision.
And what is the meaning of head-on collision? When the particles keep moving on the straight line. Okay. Now, imagine बच्चों कि मैंने तुम लोगों को बहुत कठिन टेस्ट पेपर दिया है. संडे को टेस्ट है तुम लोग का, अभी सिलेबस आ जाएगा. ठीक है. अर्पित इज ड्राइविंग दिस कार. ओके बच्चों?
Yes,
अर्पित
sir.
कितनी स्पीड से चला रहा है?
Yes, sir.
What is your speed, Arpit?
40 kilometer per hour.
40 kilometer per hour. Take it 40 meter per second. Okay, and I am driving my cycle. This is me. and my speed is 20 meter per second, what will happen?
Collision.
Suppose Arpit did not apply brake. So what is velocity of approach? What is velocity of approach? Arpit किस स्पीड से मिलकर अप्रोच करता है?
20 meter.
हाँ?
40.
20 meters. Correct. So this is U1 and this is U2.
U2.
This is M1 and this is M2. So what is velocity of
M2.
approach? What is velocity of approach? U1 minus U2. Understood? Understood everyone? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what is velocity of separation? Now look at this diagram and tell me. What is velocity of separation? अर्पित ने जानबूझ के टक्कर मारा. अर्पित देख लूंगा बेटा तुमको. The car of Arpit is still moving. No, car of Arpit is moving with 30 meter per second. And now my bicycle I'm in air because mass of car is very high. Am I right? My speed is now, let's say, uh, 45 meter per second. So what is velocity of separation? Let's say this is V1 and this is V2. What is velocity of separation? Come on. Hello. Come on, tell me.
15 meter.
50.
ओके मेरी आवाज बहुत क्रैक हो रही है. क्या ये प्रॉब्लम सबके साथ है कि सिर्फ अर्पित को प्रॉब्लम हो रही है? रीजॉइन करो अर्पित एक बार. Now what is velocity of separation, boys? Come on.
15 meter per second.
Means we got a formula. V2 minus
V1.
V1. So what is velocity of separation is V2 minus V1. Okay, Ades?
Yes, sir.
Copy. Make proper diagram. Make proper diagram and copy. Shall I erase everything?
Yes, sir.
अर्पित आ गया? आवाज आ रही है अर्पित?
Yes, sir.
मुझे
Yes, sir.
तेरे पास तेरा नेट स्लो. हाँ आ गया. I am erasing it. Okay. So velocity of approach is u1 minus u2 and velocity of separation is v2 minus v1. I just wanted to explain you the formula of velocity of approach and separation. तो अर्पित तुमने ये क्यों किया है? इसका कारण तुम बताओगे. ये बहुत गलत किया तुमने. तुम ब्रेक लगा लेते. तूने ब्रेक नहीं लगाया. मिलो बेटा. Understood everyone?
Yes, sir.
क्या क्या समझे तुम लोग कि ब्रेक नहीं लगाना है कि लगाना है? सब लोग मन में बोल रहे हैं बहुत बढ़िया अर्पित. वेल डन अर्पित. ओके.
No, sir.
तुम लोगों ने पूछा भी नहीं कि मुझे क्या हुआ था ना. चलो खैर कोई बात नहीं. मुझे पता है तुम लोग बहुत मतलब ये. चल लिखो. व्हाट इज कोफिशिएंट of restitution? Question mark. Answer. It is defined as ratio of velocity of separation to velocity of approach. So E is equal to V2 minus V1 upon U1 minus U2. This is known as coefficient of restitution. You'll have to make diagram also. M1 M2 की तरफ किस स्पीड से बढ़ रही है? What is velocity of approach? U1 minus U2. You understand that? Huh? Understood,
Yes,
everyone?
Yes, sir.
This picture is before collision. This picture is before collision. And after collision, suppose M1 has speed V1, velocity V1, and M2 has velocity V2. So what is velocity of separation?
V2 minus V.
Collision. तो क्या V2 बड़ा हो गया ना? ठीक है. इस तरह से आपको याद रखना है. E is velocity of separation upon velocity of approach. Copy. Okay, done. What value of E represent in elastic collision? I am talking about elastic collision. What value of E represent in a elastic collision? In a elastic collision. Come on, can you explain me? What value of E I told you? Do you remember? In this type of collision, what value of E I gave you? 1. E is equal to 1 means velocity of separation upon velocity of approach. Transfer this other side. So velocity of approach must be equal to velocity of
Velocity of
separation. Copy. What value of E represent in an elastic collision? It represents velocity of separation is equal to velocity of approach. Fast, full speed में चाहिए मेरे को. जल्दी लिखो. Done? Okay. Shruti, done? Click on yes.
Yes, sir.
Very good, Arpit. Okay. Everyone has completed writing. Thank you for writing so fast. These all are very important questions for school exam. मुझे पूछा नहीं ना मुझे क्या हुआ था. तुम लोग को क्या बताऊं? कोई बात नहीं, मजाक कर रहा हूं मैं तुम लोग को परेशान करने के लिए. देखो, prove that after collision velocities of m1, that is projectile, and m2, that is target, is given as v1 is equal to, see this, first you will write m1 plus m2 like this, and v2 is equal to m1 plus m2. ये लिख गया, बोलो हाँ. Copied this much?
Yes, sir.
कॉपी दिस मच. यहाँ पे क्या आएगा? V1 के ऊपर यहाँ क्या आएगा? 2m1 u1 and here m1 minus m2 u2. यही आता है चिन्मय, यही आता है ना?
Yes, sir.
चिन्मय, सिंचना, श्रेया,
Yes, sir.
यही आता है ना?
Yes, sir.
तो फिर इसको देख के बताओ यहाँ पे क्या आएगा? V1 m1 u1, V2 m.
M to U2.
अरे वाह, अरे वाह. And here V1 m1 minus m2, V2 we are trying to prove this. अब इतना बड़ा एक्सप्रेशन है, प्रूव करने के लिए कितनी जगह लगेगी, राइट? Prove that after collision velocities of m1 and m2 is given as this. Consider elastic collision. Consider elastic collision. Elastic collision means E is equal to 1. Shall I erase this? This is taking too much space.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What type of collision we are doing? Head-on collision. This is m1, speed is u1, positive because it is going right hand side. This is m2, speed is u2 because it is also going right hand side. This picture is before collision, right? After collision, v1 and velocity of m2 is v2. Okay. So what you will write first of all? What you can write? It is a head-on elastic collision. What you can write first of all? What equation? Come on.
Conservation of linear momentum.
बहुत देर लगा दी बोलने में. By conservation of linear momentum, initial momentum of system must be equal to final momentum of system. So what is initial momentum of system? m1 u1 plus m2 u. What is final momentum? m1 v1 plus m2. This is equation A, right? Can you get one more equation here? Bachcho, what is E?
1.
What is E?
1.
Velocity of separation upon
Velocity of
Velocity of approach.
velocity of approach. And in elastic collision, in completely elastic collision, E must be
1.
1.
What is velocity of separation? P2 minus V1. And what is velocity of approach? U1 minus U2.
V1 minus.
Be very careful with the sign convention. Okay, Devraj? यहाँ पे भूल जाते हैं हम V2 पहले आएगा कि V1, and here we get confused कि U1 पहले आएगा या U2. You need to be remain very cautious about writing velocity of separation upon velocity of approach. Am I right? You got an equation from here, right? Now, how many unknown you have? How many unknown you have? How many unknowns you have? 1 or 2? You want to find velocity of what? V1 and V2. You want to find value of V1 and V2. So how many unknowns, how many variables we have?
2 variables.
And how many equations we have?
2 equations.
2 equations.
Let's solve these two equations to get value of V1 and V2. Okay, will you help me? Please help me. Look at the board, everyone. From B, I can write U1 minus U2 is equal to V2 minus V1. Transfer V1 other side. So U1 minus U2 plus V1 barabar V2. So we got value of V2. Okay. From where you got this? From B. Okay. Where you are going to put this? Where you can put this?
In A.
In A.
Correct. Let's put this value in A.
Equation A.
M1 U1 plus M2 U2 is equal to M1 V1 plus M2 into U1 minus U2 plus V1. Okay, understood? Understood or not? Okay. If we put
Yes.
this in A, we will get this. श्रुति यहाँ तक परफेक्ट है? एकदम परफेक्ट है सर? ओके. हर्ष आप क्या करें? Thank you for responding very fast. Thank you everyone for responding. Arpit, are you there? Okay. Harsh, Adesh, Devraj, Vidhi. Vidhi understood this question is very important for school. Vidhi, click on yes. Okay. Now let's solve this equation to find value of V1. Okay. Let's try to solve this equation to get value of V1. M1 U1, M2 U2, M1 V1 plus M2 U1 minus M2 U2 plus M2 V1. That's a big equation, right? You can keep V1 this side and transfer everything else this side. Agree? So M1 U1 plus M2 U2 slowly. Be careful, okay? Now let's write by the black color what we brought other side, okay? We brought M2 U1 in this side, so minus M2 U1, and we brought M2 U2 this side, so we got plus M2 U2. Okay? And right hand side what we have? Can you take V1 common? So what I'll get? M1 plus M2. Any doubt on this? Any doubt in this? Solve this to get value of V1 fast. Arrange this to get value of V1. Okay. Which document? See, M2 U2, M2 U2. See, what will happen? 2M2 U2. Okay? Okay, Vidhi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And here, I can take U1 common from here, right? M1 U1 minus M2 U1. And here you have V1 M1 plus M2. So here I can write M1 minus M2 U1 plus 2 M2 U2. Okay till this?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now transfer M1 by M1 plus M2 this side. Hence you got value of V1. Very easily. Very important derivation. Copy. Must. Very useful derivation you can ask from class 12 students. I hope everyone understood this. You can write this separately. Okay, you can write it like this. You can write it like this. V1 is equal to M1 minus M2 U1 plus 2M2 U2. ऐसे ही लिखा था ना मैंने? क्यों? Initially I told you this value only, ना? याद है?
Yes, sir.
So we got value of V1. Where I should put this value so that I get value of V2.
Equation 1.
No, in this equation you put value of V1 so that you will get V2. Give me permission to erase everything.
Yes, sir.
विधि समझ गए? अर्पित समझ गया? ओके. कोई डाउट है किसी को? देवराज, ध्रुव, ध्रुव, any doubt? Okay. विधि click on yes. Okay. I'm erasing left hand part. Please give me permission to erase this. Anyone want more time?
No, sir.
Okay. In the same way, we'll get value of V2. It's very easy. I don't think you want to see it on the board. Still, I'll do it. It won't take much time. Now let's put value of V1 into this. V2 is equal to U1 minus U2 plus V1. U1 minus U2 plus, put value of V1 there. M1 minus M2 U1 plus 2M2 U2 upon M1 plus M2 upon M1 plus M2. Now let's take LCM. When you take LCM and rearrange, what you will get? When you take LCM and rearrange, you will get this. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
We got value of V2L as well. Hence we proved. The 5 marks question. It's a 5 marks question for school. Done. रटना है अभी 10-10 बार लिख लिख के याद करो. कितनी बार? 10 times write it in your copy and mug up it. Okay? Promise करो तुम लोग 10-10 बार लिखोगे. Promise. 10-10 बार लिख के याद करोगे. Okay. Harsh, I am erasing everything. Very important for the school exam. And this formula will work only in which type of collision? Say elastic collision. Say.
Elastic.
Stay cool.
Okay. Nothing is removed from this chapter. Okay. This is still we are doing a part of work power energy. Okay. But main part of work power energy is finished. This is also known as an important part of work power energy. The same type of question, there is another question which you will do. Question number 2 is prove that in inelastic collision, the velocity of projectile means m1 and velocity of target means m2 after collision is given by Bacho, let's write our old formula first. What is V1? First of all, what we'll do? Denominator में total mass. सबसे पहले क्या लिखोगे denominator में? Denominator में क्या आएगा? Total mass.
Total mass.
ठीक है? और ये V1 है, तो यहाँ पे U1 आएगा. और that M1 minus E M2. Understood? और at the place of 2, 1 plus E M2 U2. यहाँ पे क्या आएगा? M2 minus E M1 U2 and 1 plus E M1 U1. Now we will prove this, where E is coefficient of restitution. Where E is coefficient of restitution. Where E is between 0 to 1. Can you make it fast, please? No, the value of E is 1 in elastic collision. What type of collision is this? Inelastic. And inelastic is 0 to 1. Okay. The value of E is between 0 to 1. Copy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Prove this by your own. First of all, make diagram. First of all, everyone will make diagram. This is M1 moving with the speed U1. This is M2 moving with the speed U2. This is before collision. Okay. And after collision, M1 moving with the speed V1 and M2 is moving with the speed V2. So which equation here we can apply directly without any second thought?
Conservation of linear momentum.
The most important one, conservation of linear momentum. From conservation of linear momentum, because external force is absent, Shruti. Could you understand that? There is no external force. So when two balls collide, the force between them is internal force. And external force is absent. So when external force is absent, linear momentum of the system remains conserved. Am I right? Initial momentum of system is equal to final momentum of system in all type of collisions. In all types of collision, it is true. In all type of collision, it is true. So initial momentum is no doubt M1 U1 plus M2 U2, and final momentum is M1 V1 plus M2 V2. Suppose this is equation A. From where you will get second equation? From where you will get second equation?
Coefficient of restitution.
Very good, very good. E is equal to velocity of separation. Speak with me. Velocity of separation upon velocity of approach. Okay, understood? So what is velocity of separation? V2 minus V1. And what is velocity of approach, Devraj? What is velocity of approach? U1 minus
U.
and this is your equation B. So from equation A and B, we can prove it. So how I should start? I think we should cross multiply these two. Right?
Yes, sir.
Shall I erase this diagram?
Yes, sir.
I need more space.
Yes, sir.
So we can get E into U1 minus E into U2 plus V1 barabar V2. We got this from V. We got this from B. Now we will put this in. Put this in A. Okay. लोग से वो लोग चुप बैठे हैं, ये तो बहुत पिटेंगे, रिवाइज करें इसे। चुप बैठो सर। सॉरी बच्चों, तुम लोग को नहीं बोला। I'm so sorry. Now let's put this value in equation A. You will get m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2, and at the place of v2 this eu1 minus eu2 plus v1, and then you will repeat same, everything same, you will get same answer, right? Let's do it. m2 u2 and multiply m2 into the bracket first. So you'll get E m2 u1 minus E m2 u2 plus m2 v1. Right? Understood?
Yes.
Now let's bring this and this other side, and let's keep v1 same side so that we can take v1 common and you can find value of it. हम v1 को वहीं रखे रहते हैं, जैसे v1 को हम कॉमन निकाल के उसकी वैल्यू निकाल लेंगे, और v1 के अलावा जो कुछ भी उसको इधर ले आओ, और जो भी इधर लाऊंगा उसको मैं ब्लू से लिख दूंगा। ओके, जो इधर पहले से था उसको ब्लैक से लिखा रहने देते हैं, लाइक m1 u1 प्लस m2 u2, और जो इधर ला रहे हैं वहां से उसको ब्लू से लिख देता हूं मैं, हो जाएगा माइनस ई m2 u1 प्लस ई m2 u2, और उधर पहले उधर रुका कौन था, उधर पे कौन रुका था, ये। कैन यू टेक v1 कॉमन? कैन यू टेक v1 कॉमन?
Yeah.
So you will get m1 plus m2. Understood? Understood everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Till this, no problem, Vidhi? Okay. अर्पित अभी क्या करेंगे कि m2 u2 और e m2 u2 को देखो. Look at these two. Write these two together and write these two together. Okay. And here you can write, you can take u1 common, like m1 u1 minus e m2 u1 plus m2 u2 plus e m2 u2 is equal to v1 m1 plus m2. Can I write it like this? I just readjusted m1 को पास में लाया. I am trying to take
Yes,
common.
sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's take u1 common. You will get m1 minus e m2. You got u1 common, and here you can take m2 u2 common. So you'll get 1 plus e m2 u2. Right? And now transfer m1 plus m2 this side. You will get this. Will your derivation? Now promise me you will find v2 by your own. Now you promise me whatever we have covered in today's class, you will mug up everything. It will be there in your fingertips. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Mug up everything. Rat lo, kha lo, ghont lo. Revise this copy multiple times. Okay, time? That's it for the day, bacho. I believe you enjoyed my class. I'm sorry I was not fine yesterday. I fallen sick. That's why. That's it for the day. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Take
sir.
care. Bye-bye.